hope you have watched the previous video, that is the part 1 of this chapter, the photograph. Now let's have a quick reading recap and then we will finish it out today. What is the chapter name? The photograph. It was written by Ruskin Bond. Let me read it for you one more time. I was 10 years old. My grandmother sat on a string bed under the mango tree. It was late summer and there were sunflowers in the garden and a warm wind in the trees. My grandmother was knitting a woolen scarf for the winter months. I had come home after playing cricket in the Maidan. I had taken my meal and now I was rummaging through a box of old books and family heirlooms that had just that day been brought out of the attic by my mother. Nothing in the box interested me very much except for a book with colorful pictures of birds and butterflies. I was going through the book when I found a small photograph between the pages. It was a faded picture, yellow and foggy. It was the picture of a girl standing against a wall, and behind the wall there was nothing but sky. But from the other side, a pair of hands reached up as though someone was going to climb the wall. There were flowers growing near the girl, but I couldn't tell what they were. There was a creeper too, but it was just a creeper. I ran out into the garden. "Granny!" I shouted. "Look at this picture. I found it in the box of old things." "Whose picture is it?" I jumped on the bed beside my grandmother and she walloped me on the bottom and said, "Now I have lost count of my stitches, and the next time you do that I will make you finish the scarf yourself." Granny was always threatening to teach me how to knit, which I thought was a disgraceful thing for a boy to do. It was a good deterrent for keeping me out of mischief. Once I had torn the drawing room curtains and Granny had put a needle and thread in my hand and made me stitch the curtain together, even though I made long 2-inch stitches which had to be taken out by my mother and done again. She took the photograph from my hand and we both stared at it for quite a long time. The girl had long, loose hair and she wore a dress that nearly covered her ankles and sleeves that reached her wrist, and there were a lot of bangles on her hands. But despite all this drapery, the girl appeared to be full of freedom and movement. She stood with her legs apart and her hands on her hips and had a wide, almost devilish smile on her face. "Whose picture is it?" I asked. "A little girl's, of course," said grandmother. "Can't you tell?" "Yes, but did you know the girl?" Yes, I knew her, said Granny, but she was a very wicked girl and I shouldn't tell you about her. But I will tell you about the photograph. It was taken in your grandfather's house about 60 years ago. And that's the garden wall, and over the wall there was a road going to the town. Whose hands are they? I asked, coming up from the other side. Grandmother squinted and looked closely at the picture and shook her head. It's the first time I noticed, she said. They must have been the sweeper boys, or maybe they were your grandfathers. They don't look like grandfather's hands, I said. His hands are all bony. Yes, but this was 60 years ago. Didn't he climb the wall after the photo? No, nobody climbed up. At least I don't remember. And you remember well, Granny? Yes, I remember. What is not in the photograph? It was a spring day and there was a cool breeze blowing, nothing like this. Those flowers at the girl's feet, they were marigolds, and the bougainvillea creeper, it was a mass of purple. You cannot see these colors in the photo, and even if you could, as nowadays, you would not be able to smell the flowers or feel the breeze. She looks like it too, I said. You can tell by the way she is smiling. At any moment something is going to happen. Something did happen, said Granny. Her mother wouldn't let her take off the clothes afterwards, so she went swimming in them and lay for half an hour in the mud. I laughed heartily and grandmother laughed too. Who was the girl? I said. You must tell me who she was. No, that wouldn't do, said grandmother. I pretended I didn't know, but I knew because grandmother still smiled in the same way, even though she didn't have as many teeth. But grandmother shook her head and carried on with the knitting, and I held the photograph in my hand, looking from it to my grandmother and back again, trying to find points in common between the old lady and the little pig-tailed girl. A lemon-colored butterfly settled on the end of grandmother's stitching needle and stayed there while the needles clicked away. I made a grab at the butterfly and it flew off in a dipping flight and settled on a sunflower. Now what is going on? After hearing all the stories, this grandmother was back into her work, and the grandson, who is just curious about a butterfly which stayed near them, and he is supposed to grab it, but the butterfly escaped from his hands and it settled on a sunflower. I wonder whose hands they were, whispered grandmother to herself, with her head bowed and her needles clicking away in the soft, warm silence of that summer afternoon. After doing the work also, still she was in the same mode, and grandmother is whispering to herself like, I wonder whose hands they were, because grandmother still not able to remember whose hands were there on that particular photograph. I hope you have understood this story, and I have done the second part of reading also to you.